Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Sharing custody of your kids after a divorce or breakup can be complicated, especially during the holidays. Our next guest says now is the time to establish a plan to make the season a peaceful time for all. Here to tell us more is the author of The 50-50 Solution, the surprisingly simple choice that makes moms, dads, and kids happier and healthier after a split. We welcome Emma Johnson. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me and doing this important segment.
Well, so many families are going through this, and maybe this holiday season will be the first time navigating a challenging time, so it is important to talk about. You have some great ideas. Let's talk about the schedule first, how to kind of set your expectations right off the bat.
Right. Well, many families already have something in place. Often when you go through a divorce or for family court, the holiday schedule is something that is written in your agreement because all the lawyers and judges and therapists know that this is a tricky time. And maybe if you don't, or maybe you've deviated from it and it's not something that you've really adhered to, now before the holidays is a great time to be very clear. I like to say in lots of parts of my life, clarity is kindness, right? You're really setting everybody's expectations in the moment. We know the holidays can be so stressful and they can be sad, and just every emotion is heightened during the holidays. If we can set our families up for success now, it's just a gift that keeps on giving throughout the rest of the year.
And probably know that you're going to have to compromise, right? Neither partner is always going to be super happy with everything that happens, but you got to kind of make it work for everybody.
Well, you do, or maybe you're not going to get everything you want this year, but you know that next year is going to be your year. I mean, lots of families, for example, switch off, my family included. So every second year, my kids are with their dad and his family for Thanksgiving and my family for Christmas, and then we swap off. And, you know, it's about really honestly recognizing that both families are equally important, both parents. So lots of times one parent will have like a very elaborate extended family tradition with lots of different events and lots of family members, and the other parent maybe has a much smaller family or fewer get-togethers and traditions. It's really acknowledging on the front end that both are equally important, and it's equally important for those kids to spend whatever that holiday means for that parent with both parents.
And it can be so helpful to the kids when they kind of know the expectations going into. Let's talk about the transitions. How do you make it as smooth as possible when you're passing the kids off from one to another place?
Well, it's always just about being positive and making it normal. You know, it's about, oh, look, hey, Grace, now it's your time to go to your dad's. It's always annoying for the kids to have to pack up and move. Even in the best, most healthy co-parenting families, that is always going to be an annoyance. So I always encourage parents to, even when finances are tight, if you can invest just a tiny bit more so there's fewer things going back and forth, fewer pairs of tennis shoes, fewer sports equipment, as much as you can, so there's fewer things to forget, because that's always going to be annoying and it's always going to be stressful. But just to be positive and to make it normal. One thing I see parents do a lot is like, oh gosh, I'm gonna miss you so much. I miss, or the kid comes back, I missed you so much. How are things? No, it's normal. You had a good time. The kid's going to go have a good time. Maybe you do have some catching up to do, but this is your new family normal, and making the kids feel like it's safe to experience both households and not like they have to pick sides.
Yeah, I love that. Less pressure on the kids for sure. How about the communication, establishing cooperative communication, even if maybe you have a strained relationship with your ex-spouse or partner?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because even in families when people don't get along, when the parents aren't, either they're having a rough patch, maybe they never really have a warm relationship, you can still be polite. You can still be a prompt and an effective communicator. You can still adhere to the agreements that you have. So everybody in the whole family is very clear. The kids are going to the dad's house at a certain time on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Whatever the agreement is, just so everybody knows and everybody is honoring it. That is just opens up so many wonderful things. And when you do need extra support, or you do need some flexibility with the schedule, or the kid needs to be picked up because they're sick and you have a meeting, or there's a zillion things that come up with kids, it creates that goodwill and the trust that there's not going to be nastiness or manipulation, that all those hard feelings can be there, but the kids are always going to be taken care of, and the nastiness can be set aside.
For sure. Okay, how about gift giving? This can be really tough when the kids are going back and forth and making sure the parents are in agreement about the gifts this season.
Well, you don't have to agree. I mean, that's one of the things. You have two households, and often one of the things that drive people apart in a marriage is parenting disagreements. And there has to be some acceptance that everybody is going to parent how they want at their house. Now, that said, it's great to see the gift giving as an opportunity to get on the same page. So, for example, a quick phone call, maybe this time of year. What are you thinking about getting the kids for Christmas? Or what are you thinking do they need for Hanukkah? Right? Like you can do cost savings so you're not doubling up. Maybe parents can be really crafty and find the kids things the kids need and disguise it as a gift that they want, right? And that's a win-win. Avoiding duplicate gifts, that's always a good thing. And then it just, the more you have this great cooperation, you can rope in the grandparents or the aunts and uncles or other people so the kids don't have so much stuff. Maybe, again, cost savings. Everybody's looking to save money and be efficient with these things. And who knows, maybe this is one of those things that you can come together on if you're still struggling to communicate and co-parent.
Yeah, I am a child of divorced parents, and there's a long running joke about how many gifts you get because everybody wants to show their love that way. And you've got this parent, this grandparent, everybody. It's easier if everybody's on the same page so you don't end up overdoing it sometimes.
Well, right. And it's also an opportunity to get on the same page about larger values. I can tell you my son is in a high school and his band is going to Disney and it's expensive. And he's responsible for paying for a portion of it. And I'm encouraging him to ask for money towards this gift as part of his Christmas and birthday campaign. And so, that's a really cool thing I think he can get, but it's saving his parents money from having to pay the whole Disney trip. And I hope it's really teaching him the value of working hard. And he's also got part-time jobs and things, but working and saving and appreciating things and not just getting whatever you want to get.
That's a great idea. Well, and the bottom line, I think, with all this stuff is that communication is just the key to making it the easiest as possible on everybody.
It definitely helps. And I will say, though, there are just difficult people, and we're all difficult. This is, for many of us, the most difficult time of year, despite the pressure for it to be the most perfect time of year. So I do encourage people to really take a deep breath, go into the season with the goal of extending as much grace and forgiveness and generosity. You probably know what your ex's hot button topics are. You probably know their sad stories from their own holidays during their childhood or whatever those things are. People are not going to be their best selves. And you do have an opportunity to rise above it and be the bigger person, even if the other person doesn't immediately reciprocate. Your kids are watching. And also, as a child of divorce, I can tell you the kids pick up on all those little tensions, all of your irritations. You're texting ferociously with your ex about some misunderstanding or disagreement. They know something's going on. So this is an opportunity for you to be an extra super best version of yourself.
It's great advice no matter what your family situation is this time of year. Hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for this opportunity. Really important topic.
Of course, Emma's book again is The 50/50 Solution. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com.